Hi, I'm Colin Seal, the founder and CEO of thinkLaw, and I want to talk to you about thinking about summer school in a way that doesn't really fit with the way it does traditionally. So we know that when it comes down to the way summer school is typically done, it's not that great. It's not that engaging. When we ask educators why this is, we hear things around why it can feel like there's so much intervention of a focus, there's so much of remediation focus. It feels forced. It feels like there's all these things where it can feel like it's almost punitive. But what would happen if we could think about a model where it wasn't just wishful thinking for summer school to be great? It actually could be something that was filled with enrichment and a dynamic experience for young people. This is what Think Law does with our curriculum. The idea here is I can know that I have a lesson for students that struggle in science. And I know that I have this level of I need to really beef up their skills and critical thinking around these different aspects. But instead of doing it the way we would normally do a lesson, we have a whole portal of resources that can take a topic as uninteresting as pH and flip it with this introduction that comes from an announcement from the principal that sounds just like the mayor of Flint, Michigan, telling you can't drink the water, you can't wash your hands with the water in your own school. And now kids have questions and they start driving those questions to come up with even more questions. And by the time they look at this lesson and really understand the funk, the drama, the controversy, the issues of justice and fairness involved in this, we're at a reality where now we've got kids out of their seats. We got kids that are all locked in on the simple premise of what it takes to measure the body of water and pH around their community. So when I start thinking about what this means to create a space where even in summer school, critical thinking is ubiquitous and it's a part of that dynamic environment for our young people, we've gotten something that comes out of my experience being a math teacher that went to law school. But this idea that if I'm thinking like a lawyer, I'm on my toes. I've got this thing where it's a low floor, high ceiling. I can connect kids to challenge every day, even when it doesn't require a lot of background knowledge. So I know that at the end of the day, my kids need to learn about percent change. But in today's lesson, I might actually start with a question about what would you buy for the next zombie apocalypse or for the next pandemic? And I already know it's toilet paper, and more toilet paper. And this is my intro to start talking about price gouging. And when I'm looking at a real life case involving a company that takes up smaller pharmaceutical companies and starts hiking up the prices of life-saving drugs, we've now got a critical thinking construct for a complex math word problem, but it's not about math anymore. It's about life or death, fairness and justice. When we look at the portal that we have and the resources that we give teachers, it could be something that's cultural. A really cool lesson about when the movie Coco came out, Disney tried to trademark Day of the Dead. Imagine the kinds of responses and conversation and writing that comes out of that. We can look at things from the idea of, hey, I know at elementary school kids need to know about quadrilaterals. Again, the way that we hook this is a thinklar approach. This idea of there's a rule that I need to figure out. And in this shape shop, there's a rule that I'm determining where I'm learning to apply the rules of quadrilaterals, even if I don't know them that well, by using my judgment in a very asset-based kind of format. So when I'm thinking about what this means, even with lessons that have to do with issues that affect teenagers, like the vaping crisis that we see and why it is that all these advertisements are going towards teens even when they're not supposed to. When I'm starting to look at these root cause analysis problems, all of these come in a framework where we're giving it to you in a way that's packaged and very easy to implement. As a part of what we're doing, it's not just the access for now, but you will get access for the entire school year as well. And there's built-in PD that comes from being a part of this program, learning how to get so much practice at asking higher order questions to kids that don't typically get to engage in higher order questions. And we have built-in on-demand resources for training as well. When we look at this, teachers are getting all of the PowerPoints, all the guides with the goal being it should take less than 15 minutes of prep time to implement one of these lessons because they're very simple to deliver. We also give you the onboarding asynchronously. For summer school partnerships, we are definitely able to work with you more hands-on, but just so you know, you have these resources for folks who might not be there for that initial onboarding. They can always be able to go back to our portal and get more support. We also help you with the structure of it, most importantly. So if you're doing summer school for your young ones, if you're doing summer school for your intermediate grades, if you're doing summer school for your secondary kids, we help you scope it out, however many weeks, however many students, however many educators you're going to be using, so it doesn't feel like one more thing for your overwhelmed summer school coordinators on your staff. So when we're looking at what we're trying to do here, we understand that the way summer school typically looks is not acceptable. We can't just go through the same old same. We need a critical thinking revolution. And if nothing else, we want spaces where kids can laugh and learn at the same time. Summer school can be mandatory for some kids. Still, if that's the case, let's make sure joy is mandatory too. I'm Colin Seal with thinkLaw, and I'm really excited to make sure you can look at this quote information request to get all the information that you need to be able to partner with us. I look forward to working with you and building a world where critical thinking is no longer a luxury good. Thank you so much.